welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Jose Romero.
Happy Nerd Day, everybody. It's been a couple weeks. We're back
Couple weeks.
in action.
Life has been growing and different. Don't worry, no one's pregnant. That's a lot. We're handling our nerd stuff very much independently. But life came, phrasing, but we enjoyed it.
Well, I do have, I was going to mention that real quick, but that goes along with some good news I have for the crowd out there and the bad news I have for the crowd out there. What do we start with, the bad or the good? What do you think? Leave it up to you.
I'm a bad news first because I want to end on a good note.
Okay.
So
what the bad news is, as we just talked about, why we were not on air the last couple weeks. This is not bad news for you or for me, for that matter, but it's a bad news for a large demographic of individuals out there. I would say, not since Obi-Wan heard the millions of screams, after destruction of Alderaan, have we seen such almost an equal amount of heartbreak.
Sadness,
I'll leave it a
pain?
heartbreak, and that's to all the single ladies out there
of
who've all
course.
cried out because your man got married. So now
This dude,
I'm off
right
the
over
market.
here.
All you ladies, I apologize. I'm sorry. You can't.
A lot of you fellas too. Sorry,
You
it's not
can't.
happening
Well, yeah,
anymore.
true. You're right. You cannot go quote Jim Carrey and saying you still have a chance because you don't anymore.
Not anymore.
It is what it is.
Out of the market.
I'm off. Ball and chain. It is what it is. But I'm very happy about
You know what? So for all you other single ladies out there, if you're willing to settle, this dude is still on the market.
Point this way. Right here. This guy right here.
This dude is still on the market.
You still
And
have a chance.
I accept Groupons. So I'm just saying.
And that's why it's
not even full
That's
price.
why it's clean shaven. You notice that, lady.
Clean shave. I gotta stand up.
You go.
I'm pulling a Jose. I'm trying to get the Jose attention here. Like, oh, sort of not.
But that being said, there's a lot of good news. A lot of good news. We just entered March, Eric.
Yes, we did.
Which means it's great for all of us genre fans because this month is awesome, right? We kicked off, which we'll talk about momentarily, of course, Mandalorian season 3, right? That's a great way to start the month. We know we got Scream for the horror fans, Scream 6 coming out. I actually like the last one. Looking forward to that. We got Shazam coming out, Dungeons and Dragons coming out. Ted Lasso, no, it's not genre, but come on, it's Ted Lasso. Come on.
It's kind of genre. It's in the realm of fantasy football, kind of.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, how about that? The genre of awesome is Ted Lasso. And of course, John Wick. I mean, this is a stack, and even Creed 3, I like Creed. A stacked month this month.
And as an extra bonus as well, because I happen to be taking my kids to it, end of March, beginning of April, MegaCon in Orlando. Some big stuff going on there. So, convention season is starting to kick back in. It is a great time.
This is a great time. We're kicking off a great time here. This was the big month. This one, June, is the other big month in terms of just stacked. This is a murderous row of movie releases. Right? It's crazy. So that's awesome. We'll talk about all of that stuff, of course. But before we get to all that, there are a lot of nuggets. A lot of nuggets being held over for a couple of weeks. You haven't got a chance to talk about.
Sitting on it. Waiting on it.
We've been sitting on it. And I'm glad we kind of sat on one of those. I got more information about one of these scoops, which is DC related. So let's get to DC first. Let's start with DC. We're going to go over to, I don't know what company it is. I think it's Lionsgate. And then we end up in Marvel, right? And of course, Disney. Whatnot. So let's start with this. This talking about good news is The Flash. We talked about people saying it's really good. James Gunn says one of the greatest of all time. Could be hyperbole, but whatever, fine. Take it for whatever it's worth, grain of salt. But that's what he says. The trailer came out. I know we didn't talk about it. I didn't ask you about the trailer. I know I really liked the trailer. Michael Keaton, come on, that's all you need to know.
As we said, and we talked about it off air. As we said, the trailer was fun. Michael Keaton made it great.
Oh, of course. Hello.
Keaton is making DC great again. That's what Keaton is doing.
No doubt about it. But apparently all these rumors and talks about this movie being so good might actually be true. Because Warner Brothers has a lot of confidence in this film, so much so they're going to premiere it and screen anyway at CinemaCon in April. So almost a couple of months before the movie comes out, That's bold, right? Because that's the first chance anyone will get to see it. I'm sure they feel good about it. This is a good sign because if the movie sucked, I doubt they want to put it out there that early, right in front of the theater
If it's
owners.
one thing Hollywood has taught me, is it sometimes when you have a groomer attached to a movie, it can become amazing. Woody Allen, Polanski, and now Miller. So
What the hell, right? But this is good. I mean, this is good. It's good news for us. It should be good news for us, right? The screening early. I mean, listen, they screened Ghostbusters there, which came out really good. We both liked that one. Top Gun, awesome. That was screened there. So Black Phone, which is a good small horror movie, which is really good. So yeah, so usually movies that screened there are legit. So this is good signs for all of us, man. I'm a little more optimistic about this. I'm not relying on James Gunn's word. I'm not calling him a
I
liar,
will.
but
I do want to interject for one thing. There's a rumor online about the Flash trailer. You see if you picked it up too. That Barry Allen finds that it does not have powers.
right.
Because Snyderverse Barry Allen has blue lightning. You see that this universe, the Michael Keaton Barry Allen gets yellow lightning, but he's also wearing yellow, and there's a rumor that he might be the Reverse Flash.
There's a toy out there. I know this is. I mean, whatever. I said it already. So there's a toy about a Flash, and they're calling him Reverse Flash or whatever they're calling him. But he's wearing.
If he's a yellow Flash,
Well,
he's a
it's
Reverse
actually
Flash.
black, from what I understand. Like,
Oh,
so,
I did hear there is a
right?
black.
Did you see
Flash,
that? Yeah, I heard
yes.
about that. Using the toys always leak and spoil shit. But I mean, I don't know if this is true. I mean, the toy this leaks something or not. But it is a toy with a black Flash. Black suit Flash. So I don't know. Whatever it's worth. So yeah, this is good news, man. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe James Gunn's right. Man, I don't know. Who knows, right? Or maybe he's James Cameron is full of lies. I don't know. We shall soon see. Conversely, though, on the other end of the spectrum, Aquaman. Now, there were some these test screenings. Talk about taking with a grain of salt because just test screenings happen all the time, and people say they're sorry, they're lying. Or we've heard so many times how great something is ends up being the opposite, and vice versa, where something's really gonna suck and it's great, right? We've seen that many times before, so I don't trust all these test screening rumors or whatever. Apparently, there was some test screenings before it was held very well. I was like, whatever, I don't pay attention to that. But recently, there was a story about further test screenings where it was really bad. There's this rumor, because his name was Jeff Snyder, non-relation to Zach, who's very respected in Hollywood and all that. I know of him, and he doesn't push it out there unless it's kind of legit, right? He's got a lot of inside sources. So apparently, from what I understand, the screenings went really bad. The test screenings, terrible. He said, well, this guy didn't like the first one, so again, who knows? But that being said, doesn't mean it's not true. But people walking out, and it's really it's boring, it's terrible, it's horrendous all across the board. Again, for whatever that's worth. But I don't know if this is out. I don't know yet. Maybe it is. I didn't check up on this. But I was advised that this is actually true.
Ooh.
And that people were walking out. It tested really bad. It was not a good film by any stretch of the imagination. That was a consensus. So maybe there's some truth behind this.
So is this the newest cut or is it the first cut though?
I didn't ask that question. I don't know. So that being said, on those lines, things could change, right? They got this from now to December. Things can get re-edited. You change an edit, and the whole movie can change, right? We know
changes
that.
Everything.
So
absolutely.
So again, changes can't, which is why they do test screenings to begin with. So it doesn't mean the movie's gonna suck, but thus far it's not looking good. But I got this. I'm gonna put up here. This is spoiler. Big spoiler.
Whoa!
If you don't want to know shit, skip ahead like 5 minutes. I know, Eric, you don't mind spoilers, so I'm gonna.
I love it.
So,
go.
Because I'm gonna test this particular individual as a source.
Okay.
So apparently, the story, one of the main threads, and I'm mentioning the big one. There's little small ones I don't want to mention, but apparently, Aquaman and Amber Heard's character, whatever her name is, have a kid, a child.
Mira.
There you go. They have a child now, and apparently,
Aqualad.
Okay, there you go. That's a good one.
Real character.
Well, there you go. Maybe I guess I don't know the age yet. I didn't ask, but apparently that's the focus of the story is a child and he goes missing or something. Was it a Black Manta? Goes after the kid. He's a key to finding Atlantis or whatever the case is.
Okay.
and now I guess Aquaman and the guy who played Night Owl and Watchmen, who was in the original Aquaman. I forget his name.
Oh, he plays the Ocean Master in this movie.
Yeah, I believe, unless I'm
Yeah,
mixing the characters, I believe him and Aquaman go like in this kind of buddy cop kind of thing,
Orn,
yeah,
right?
one,
Yeah.
in a journey to find the baby or the kid or
Okay.
whatever. So that's kind of
Okay.
the story.
Okay.
Interesting. So I don't know if that's good or
Sure.
bad. Whatever. It's out of context, but that's what the story is about. Amber
Okay.
Heard's in it for like 15, 20 minutes at best towards the beginning, and then they kind
And
of
then she accuses Aquaman of hitting
go
her, and
hitting
it's a
on her,
whole
and then
thing, and
Johnny Depp
it's
comes
a
in to
mess.
referee everything, and who knows? And then Ezra Miller's in there. So apparently that's the story. So let's see if that ends up being true. I think it is from as a reliable individual. So, but we'll find that out towards the end of the year. So that's kind of the basis of the film. So Aquaman was good. I liked Aquaman. It wasn't great. It was a lot in there. It was fine. It was fine.
Now, listen, I
It
might
was
be
entertaining.
off on this one because I didn't follow Aquaman extensively. There's a few storylines I paid attention to overall. And mind you, they rebooted so many times. I'm not even sure this is true, but I believe in the comics, Black Manta kills Aquaman's son. And that's one of the things that sort of cements their grudge is like, I hate you
Okay.
kind of thing. Is so it'd be interesting to see that. I kind of was hoping they would do the storyline where Aquaman loses his hand and he gets like a harpoon hand
Oh, that's
replacement,
pretty cool.
which is dope. Like it just makes you like a pirate, but it's a harpoon, like a double-edged harpoon, and he can shoot it out and it reels back in. Looks awesome. Like I was kind of hoping that would be the
They
angle.
can still have that. I didn't hear anything about that, but maybe who knows? But I'll say this. I forgot to say this, and I heard this is the reason why the whole Lobo thing appears to be true,
Oh, cool.
and I think a lot of it was because of what happened with that with this. um,
Ah, so you think the meeting was like, listen, Aquaman 2, hot garbage, but
but
here's your parachute,
exactly,
Lobo.
I mean, odds are they were probably gonna reboot it anyway. But this kind
Sure.
of just solidified that. If there's any doubts, listen, editing does a lot, especially effects. They do some reshoots. A lot of things can change between now and then, right? So it's
Get
not
Michael Keaton
made
to
them
come
adding
in.
Michael Keaton all of a sudden.
Underwater batsuit, save the day. Done. No
Yeah,
problems.
you know what? That is the greatest movie of all time. Even above the Flash. I'll talk to James Gunn about that. Get his thoughts. But yeah, so let's see. And listen, it's not like I was really looking forward to Aquaman to begin with, but whatever.
Right.
All these. Well, the Flash is the only one I want to see because that can at least have an effect on what's going moving
Right.
forward. Right. The other ones.
It's been heralded as the transition movie.
Right, at least
so-
a big part of it. So Shazam, who knows? Aquaman, who knows? Blue Beetle, doubtful. So whatever. But yeah, so
I bet you
interesting.
whatever movie makes money gets carried over to the new DC.
Shazam's not doing that. Hers not going to track well.
Really?
Yeah.
But the first one was so much fun.
I like the first one a lot.
Yeah, so I'm surprised it's not going to track
I
well.
heard from all the the pundits, or not the pundits, is
Okay. Reviews, critics.
No, not critics. Those who do like the box office breakdowns and the previews, and they're usually pretty
Right.
spot on. This is tracking from like 35 to 45, and maybe 50. The first one made 50 something, so tracking lower
Wow.
than that. So that's not a good sign for this film.
No, not at all.
Yeah, which surprised me. The first one is really good. I liked it a lot, and the marketing hasn't been good though. Let's be honest, it hasn't. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe people know it's just like a lame duck film. Why? What's the point? I don't know. I guess.
I mean, if that's what they're feeling with Shazam, I'm scared to find out what's going on with Blue Beetle because
That movie was never going to do well to begin with, like that well. It's a
I
small
thought it was going
character.
to do as well as the first Shazam. That's why I kind of like
Perhaps.
placed
I
it
mean,
in my
I
head.
think when we see the trailer, I'll get a better indication. Right now, because no one knows what that is, right? Even Shazam
Right.
didn't do as well because it's an unknown character. Let's be honest, right? It is. But I'm surprised that Shazam doesn't. It's not tracking better, but who knows? That could change. But yeah. But either way, so yeah. But all these are lame duck. And Aquaman's the only one who has a chance. Well, maybe Flash, but Aquaman for sure. I mean, $1 billion the first one. So okay. It is what it is, right? You like it, don't like it. It's facts. So let's see how that does. But yeah, so move on to something different before we get to the Marvel stuff. Kind of cleanse some DC stuff here, and this is part of the Rocky and Bullwinkle section of the show.
Our classic
For those who
mainstay segment.
who
Rocky
knows
Bull.
about Rocky and Bullwinkle, but of course I had a little bit, and this bit for this particular, it's gonna go something like this. Okay, studio says, hey guys. Got another Hellboy reboot coming in. Again, yes, again. Hellboy is on track. Is actually got cast. Part of it was cast already, so this is all legit. Another reboot, rated R reboot of Hellboy.
Is it David Harbour again? Because he was
No,
the best part of that bad movie.
agreed, he was, but that movie was not good.
No, the movie was
It
bad,
was
but he
terrible.
was great.
But so Brian Taylor's directing. I think it was like Crank, which I love Crank actually from Jason
Oh,
Statham.
Crank's bananas.
Yeah, so okay, and I felt the other comedy he did. Nonetheless, so yeah, and they hired the villain who was in the Strain in FX. If you've seen that, I think he was in Deadpool 1 or 2. I don't know. Not a main guy, but he's gonna be playing someone named oh my god, I forgot the character's name. The Wicker Man. Am I saying? No, I'm not saying that right. I have it here somewhere. The Crooked Man is the
The
villain.
Crooked Man. I
Yes.
think I remember reading that one.
Yeah, and it's
I think.
yeah. I'm not sure what it's
I
about, but yeah.
Yeah.
So this is legit. Takes place in 1950s, apparently.
Okay. Okay.
It's him and a rookie agent teaming up to go after whatever group this is, and there's witches and local devils and yada yada yada. So it's an interesting take, but dude, again, do we need another Hellboy reboot, dude?
I mean, if he got a good take in it, I'm in.
I guess, but there's so much stuff to deal with. Why are we going back to the well with this? You know what I'm saying, I mean,
Because
how many characters would like to
because
see come?
Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy movies are so much fun. People are like, we should tap into that and do it better, or they're feeling cocky enough to want to do it better. It's the same reason why apparently now Warner Brothers is thinking about doing more Lord of the Rings movies. It's we got it, we could do it
Well,
better.
that makes sense because at least the movies are very successful, right? We've seen it. Even the Hobbits, not that they were great, but they made a lot of money. So
Yeah.
I see that. It's like saying, let's go back to Harry Potter. I get it. But Hellboy has never done well, ever.
Hellboy 1 and 2 they did what? It didn't set the world on fire.
It doesn't on fire, but it wasn't like this wasn't like a big temple films.
Oh no, not at all.
That's what I'm
not
saying, right? And the last one was not good and did not do well
right.
critically.
That one did really bad.
Fans,
Yeah,
and it's bad. And it made no money.
Hellboy 1 and 2 made Shazam 1 money, which is not bad.
I can check now. I'm just kind of out of curiosity what it is.
I mean, I think you have to adjust for inflation, but I think it's kind of that realm.
It may be. Let's see. Hellboy box office 2004. Wow.
Yeah.
In total, it made less than less than 100 million. They made 99.8 in total.
But that's 2004.
2004.
So like,
but that's
yeah.
worldwide. So that's not great. The second one I think did around close to similar. But that being said, whatever, it is what it is. I don't have the initial. I can't find it. Doesn't matter. But they didn't break the box office, right? Not even close, right? Less than 100 million, even back then, is not great worldwide. Domestically, okay, fine, but it wasn't. So I don't know. I don't understand. I really don't get this, man. I hope, don't get me wrong. I hope it's great, but there's so many characters out there that
it's the
we
kind
can
of thing
see.
where the premise sounds really good, and they're trying to crack the code on it. They're trying to figure out how to make that
Man, they are
work.
really going to the well
Like
with this.
the
Man.
sweet spot, the sweet spot they're trying. Like to me, what it sounds like, the sweet spot they're trying to do is like Doctor Strange and Deadpool. That's what they're trying to get to. That's sort of like mysticism, but it's dark, like it's violent, but it's mystic and comedy.
If they do it very, in 1950 sounds to me like very grounded. I would think,
right?
Because they can't put money into this film. You can't.
Not too much money.
You can't. It's not $100 million budget. It's not. It's never happening ever. Maybe 50 to 60 at best. So that means a lot of practical.
I think they could do 80. I think they could do 80 million on this movie.
Maybe I don't know. It's the director's not really well known as much. It's not gonna be a big project. I think it's gonna be a small thing, which is probably for the best, right? Keep it small, right? And like Deadpool, first Deadpool was like $40-50 million budget wise. Not a lot these days.
We've talked about this. Like it doesn't have to be a big movie.
No.
If you have a good like world, like if they make it more of like a crime noir in the 50s, you can kind of do crime noir on that.
There you
go.
Yes.
For the dark shadow world, and you have Hellboy as your gumshoe, you got an angle there. You can make that work.
Potentially make something different. That's the only way I see it's working. If they do same old, it's just, I don't see it.
No,
I don't see it. I don't want to see it anyway. I've seen it. It didn't work. Change it up, mix it up. I don't know. Do whatever. It just don't give us a last one. Please.
L.A. Confidential with monsters, and
That's
you got a good.
that could be
You got
interesting,
you.
and I think the
You got the,
1950s sounds cool. I'll give it that
that's
much.
what I'm saying.
That
That's
sounds
what
cool.
L.A. Confidential
Yeah,
was. It was in the 50s,
yeah.
so you can make that work.
That could be interesting. So let's see. So, but it's already we'll talk about it before. It was more like in development, quote unquote.
Right.
But I think it's 2 weeks ago when we're supposed to do the show. But now it's definitely they already cast somebody, so it's already in motion. So that's this
Cool.
is coming out at some point. So whatever. It's but I'm sure
I look forward to seeing it either on screens or on Netflix,
just be
whichever one gets it.
just be better than Morbius. How's that?
Oh, I mean, that's not
Not
going
a
to be
high
hard.
bar to go. The
That's
bar
not going to
set
be
low
hard.
for this. So whatever. Marvel time. Let's go to Marvel. A lot of little nuggets here. I'll start with one that
By the way,
Oh,
I do want to say, because we have not talked about it, I saw Quantumania, as apparently everyone did. The first week was out because the drop off was so hard. So everyone saw that first week, like, we're good. Next. And we all bounced out. I got to tell you, I like the movie.
well,
I
we're
thought it
all
was
going to talk
fun.
about Ant-Man. We will talk about Ant-Man because I definitely want to talk about that one. Because
Okay.
there's a lot of issues with just not just not with the movie itself, just with Marvel in its entirety.
Yes.
We're going to touch on a couple of those with these stories. So we'll get to Ant-Man for
All
sure.
right. All right.
But the first one here. So apparently a couple weeks ago, Kevin Feige did an interview, whatever, talked a lot of stuff about Marvel. And you'll like this. Now, he didn't come out and say there's a season 2
Right.
per se, but they said Moon Knight was in the plans for whatever that's worth. But he didn't come on and say a season 2.
Right.
He did come on and say that. So we don't know if it's going to be a series or if he's going to be tossed in somewhere else with something else. I don't know. I would guess Secret Invasion or something, or Kang War. I don't know.
Well, first of all,
I don't.
Kang did appear in the Moon Knight series. It was that dude's jean jacket. He had the Ramatut
Oh,
Kang on the thing. So technically, and if you remember the QR codes for the free comics, the last episode was Moon Knight versus Kang and a Moon Knight annual. So there is the connection already there, guys. Look, Kang took over Egypt. Moon Knight has as a follower of an Egyptian god. There's a connection. There's actually a comic book that came out called Kang, Nothing Left to Conquer But Myself, where you find out that Ravonna Renslayer, one of her incarnations, was one of the OG Moon Knights in Egyptian times when Kang was still a young guy who didn't know he was going to be Kang yet. Really interesting storyline. Read that out. But yeah, there is definitely a Moon Knight, Khonshu, Kang connection out there. I hope something comes out of that. But there's no confirmation where but he will be.
He will be at some point. Who knows? I mean, it could be. I mean, after Phase 6, for all I know. But like I said, he didn't specify. But he said he's still in there, and no one's forgotten about Moon Knight on their end. So that's good.
I mean, I'm excited
That's good
about
for
it.
you.
I mean, clearly, I'm excited about it.
Right.
But
No, that's your boy. So I'm sure you're happy to hear that.
I'm excited about it. I'm glad that we talked about this last year when it came to Moon Knight versus Obi-Wan. Moon Knight came out a winner, but not by much. But he came out the winner.
He came out the winner,
so,
I think, by long, by wide margin. Because I wasn't a huge fan of Obi-Wan. I know you liked Obi-Wan probably more than I did.
Yeah, Obi-Wan was like a C minus. Okay. Moon Knight was a B minus, but Moon Knight should have been like a B plus A minus.
Oh no, agree. Well, they both should have been fucking A's. That's what I'm concerned. No doubt.
But that all being said,
Water under the bridge at this point.
Oscar Isaac is too good of a dude just to do on like a one-time series and never use him again. I'd like to see him in a Blade. I'd like to see him in a Midnight Suns. We've talked about both of those properties several times over. I could see him I could almost see him in Thunderbolts because of the Jake Lockley, Mark Spector mercenary aspect. You could see him in New World Order as someone that's called in to back up Captain America. I mean, there's a lot of options out there. I could kind of see him in Secret Invasion, but if he was a Secret Invasion, it would just be more for Mark Spector, and that's a waste of. Like, I want to see Moon Knight. I want to see Mark Spector. If you got a super Moon Knight's design is so cool, and you could turn into the Mr. Knight suit with Stephen Grant. Like, you gotta utilize the suits in him, and to put him in Secret Invasion, I think it'd be sort of like a shortcut. And I want to see him really be out there, like show people like how like. I actually just rewatched the Moon Knight series recently, and episode 2, when he fights the wolf, the jackal. Episode 3, where he's fighting the dudes on horseback, and the last episode. Those are some really fun, dynamic set pieces for action sequences, and I want that, but up it, like make it movie hot, and I want to see that. Like, give me Batman level Moon Knight. Give me Spider-Man level Moon
Sure.
Knight. I want that. That's gonna really elevate people to see what he can do, and I think that's gonna be what
Yeah,
people
no, I
kind of
agree.
go,
Cause
oh, that's
yeah, because I don't think we got a good sense of what who Moon Knight is off the series for the most part, right?
right. You got your
Um,
character, but let's show him in action.
right, exactly. So let's see. So that we're looking. I know you're looking forward to that. We all are. Next one here. This is a couple of changes to scheduling here. The first one is the Agatha Harkness spin-off show, whatever.
Yeah,
Apparently, that's been delayed.
I
Um,
I didn't hear that. I heard permanently delayed.
that's not confirmed, but I've heard a similar thing, and it's possible. But for now, it's delayed for whatever that's worth. If it's whether it's permanent, we'll soon find out. But it's definitely ain't it was slated for this year. That's not
Yeah,
happening. I mean, they already said Disney Plus saying they're only releasing two shows, and that's Secret Invasion and Loki. That's it for this year, which is a good thing, right? Then we
yeah.
talked about
Well,
just
I,
too much
I
stuff
I
coming
think that
out.
was
And
one
just
of the things that happened when who's the guy who came back and took over Disney?
oh,
Uh,
Iger,
Paul, yeah,
yeah,
Iger. He's and apparently Iger said, let's listen to what Feige said, and Feige's like, let's not do so much. Let's just bring him back
scale
to
it
more of a
back.
controlled flow.
Correct.
I think that should have been that would have made the CG and She-Hulk better. That would have give them time to do a better Moon Knight. Like, give time for these guys to.
Yeah, it's
That's why
well,
I
that was
think
a big issue. We talked about that. It was just too many shows, and it's just like
too many.
it's way too much, and not everything's related. Focus, pick a lane. Just go down this lane. You can do something else later. But this, I guess, this might be one of the casualties potentially. I wasn't excited about this anyway, so I honestly don't care.
I'm okay with that. I'm
But
totally
yeah,
okay
if they
with
want to
that.
get rid of this, bye. Because I don't think this is gonna be hold anything value in terms of the whole Kang Dynasty story. I really don't. In terms of
Right.
this is
No. Yeah.
something on its own, and we don't need that right now. So that's
I
been delayed.
bet you if they never do this series, they'll just take the parts they wanted to do and put it in like
Sure.
Doctor Strange 3.
Yeah, they could.
And
Yeah,
that'll
exactly. They
be
could always
right.
mix it up, and that's fine.
Uh-huh.
The other one, this is a smaller delay, but still a delay. In the heels of Ant-Man and its lack of success. Let's put it that way. But the Marvels is delayed as well. That went from July, I think, or whenever it was, June, whatever it was, now all the way to November. Apparently, they swapped with the Haunted Mansion, whatever. Maybe they like Haunted
Oh
Mansion that
no.
much. It went Haunted Mansion in the middle of the summertime. I don't know.
Oh no. The
But
Haunted
apparently
Mansion.
there could have been some issues with
I
story.
heard
Now
I
that they're
heard
saying that effects, I'm not buying that. The whole effects
that's
thing.
what I heard. I heard they really want to make
Right.
effects to look.
That came from Disney. So they're saying I'm not buying that. That there's
And here's the thing.
other issues.
I kind of buy it because one of the small gripes I had with Ant-Man Quantumania was like some of the shots didn't look great. And I'm like, if you need more time to
It didn't
render and
look, but
make
I
it look
think that there's
awesome,
another
take
issue
your time.
with this movie's kind of in space too. But that being said, but I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. No way. There's other issues with this, and I think there's some directional choices that they want to make with this film, so they need more time
Okay.
to
All right.
adjust. But that get
Okay.
delayed. But that being said, I get it. And then and listen, if it ain't right, fix it. Right? Which they did with Blade. It ain't right. We ain't doing it. So fine, fair enough. So that's interesting on that end. Kevin Feige also talked about, I guess they locked in the story for Spider-Man 4. So
I
that's good.
heard about that.
So,
Yeah.
nothing specific, but we knew that was coming out at some point. But now it's locked in. So whatever deal with Sony is ongoing and whatever, when that comes out.
I heard the rumor is that because of a cosmic incursion, the 1970 Spider-Man live-action TV show actor gets teamed up with our Spider-Man now, and then he dies because he was so old that he couldn't survive.
What
He
the guy
shows
from
up and he
what's the show
dies.
that Electric Company? That's an old reference for
Electric Company Spider-Man shows up too. And he teaches Tom Holland how to read. It's really sweet.
It's a very, very nice moment,
Yeah,
very family friendly. So that's coming out. He talked about, speaking of Blade, the Blade was gonna film in 10 weeks or so.
awesome.
About 2.5 months. That was a couple weeks ago. So okay, which means, but it's not going to release what we thought was going to get released. That's going to delay the film to 2024, 2025 maybe.
I'm good with that.
Which is fine. Get it right. Like I said, I have no problem with that.
Waited this long. I'm no rush to. As long as if you're taking the time to make it awesome, make it awesome.
Now,
As long as
but
it's
now it really
awesome.
needs to be good. This one needs to be good now because they had extra time on it. For Christ's sake,
Uh-huh.
if it's bad, it's disappointing.
And just between you and me, I'm hoping the fight levels is like raid level. I think Blade should be like raid level
It'd be
fighting.
nice, but who knows? I mean, well, who knows? The first one I heard what two fight scenes or something in the first script or
No,
whatever, two big set pieces.
never filmed, never happened. I don't
Right.
want to
So
care. I
whatever, that was the
don't know what's gonna
plan.
happen.
A bad plan, obviously, but yeah. So hey, at least it's getting confirmed it's film. So I think we talked about this in October. So that's what 1, 2. That's maybe like a 6, 7 months delay, which is what we said, more or
Yeah.
less. So whatever, fine. Last thing here, this is actually a recent story where they're talking to Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi,
Yes.
and he was teasing that his return is going to come sooner than people think. Now, interesting because I don't think it's a movie. We're not getting Shang-Chi 2, right? But I think
Well, they have said there's a Shang-Chi 2 title. So
it's
Shang-Chi and
planning,
like
but it's not on this
the
slate,
something
and
across time. Like it's something like that.
they're gonna make a Shang-Chi 2 at some point. But right now it's not slated, right? The production,
Right.
nothing's going on with this movie. But I think he's gonna come out in a future DC MCU film as a cameo or whatever, or end
Okay.
credits. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll put the question to you. We know what's coming. We know we got Guardians, Marvel's this year, Secret Invasion, Loki. I don't know. Where is he popping up? What would make
Well,
sense to you that he's gonna pop up somewhere? I have an idea, but I'm just gonna get a sense of what you think he should come up as.
if we're talking like practical budget,
No,
he'd be great in Secret Invasion because he's just a dude who fights martial arts.
sure.
So you could have a great like it could be something where in passing by he's called in because been in touch with the Avengers. Nick Fury's taking lead on it, so maybe he's like one of Nick Fury's extra pulls that he's got in contact with Wong and he needs a favor, and this guy comes in, handles business. So I could see him in Secret Invasion, and if not that, the only other thing is the Marvels because the
The
rings I
rings,
feel
right?
connect with Kamala Khan's bracelet,
Right.
and so there's something there. That's the only two places I think he would fit in for this year.
Yeah, even next year I don't see it, but like if a lot of grounded stuff coming out next year. But yeah, I think in the Marvels, I mean, it makes sense. Even if it's just like an end credit scene or something, I guess that will
To be fair,
make
I'll
sense.
say this too: have him and Moon Knight appear in the Blade movie. You got yourself a great freaking movie right there.
I don't see Shang-Chi and Blade. It doesn't.
I can see Shang-Chi and Blade. I could totally see
I mean,
that.
it depends what kind of tone. If that's the tone they're going for, I hope they delay another 110 weeks for Blade.
Get out of
If
here.
they're
Crazy.
gonna push Shang-Chi in that's a terrible sign for Blade. I tell you right now.
He,
Um,
he's not the he's not the buddy cop of it, but he is a like he
but
goes into
Blade, I
like
honestly hope, and I don't want, and I'll say this. Well, I kind of want to see more of this, but I know Marvel is afraid of doing something different because God forbid. I'd like to see Blade in its own universe, be its own thing. I really
oh
would.
I don't I
Um,
want to see him meshed in Marvel really bad.
no, make it'd be something different, unique, because then you can go a little bit darker now, because it'll be flowers and shit, and Blades fucking day blowing day dandelions and shit, and little girls' faces.
That's not what
Hey,
he's gonna
hey
do.
guys, God forbid.
He's not
Oh
gonna
my
do.
God, I don't want to see
Sorry.
that. That's what I foresee Blade as being. They're gonna just water his ass down.
I feel
He,
because he's fighting
he's doing a
vampires,
Blade
you
Walker
could do
Shane, like
like
the ridiculous
these
Daredevil thing. Oh, hey.
You could do these like
Very bad.
really massive, like brutal cuts, but they start turning
Very
to
bad.
ash before they bleed. I think that's gonna be the
The
workaround on
blood's
Blade.
gonna
I
be
think
like
Blade's gonna be
blue.
real
He's gonna
brutal.
attack other. It's not gonna be red because God forbid. And no, they're allergic to blood in Marvel, so I get it. That being said, I would like to have his own thing. That's what I'm saying. Shang-Chi just makes it all jokey, jokey, jokey. Like every MCU movie, see Ant-Man. There's a reason why the movie tanked. But that's the
It
kind
didn't tank. What are you talking about?
of
It's been number one for 2 weeks. It just didn't make a lot of money, but it's been number one for two
yeah, it
weeks.
tanked. Tanked.
You be in a very different way of tanking when you're still number
Well,
one.
let's talk
But
about that.
we'll get
You
there.
can
We'll get there.
listen.
We'll
I
get
mean,
there.
if I get it, I could win a 100-meter race and run it and win against midgets and win with the time of 28 seconds when
First
people
of
run it for
all,
10 seconds. It's
first
bad.
of all, it's little people.
Nah,
Please
they
correct
kind of
yourself.
midgets. I don't give a shit.
Secondly,
That doesn't matter.
secondly, listen. If I got to
But
fight
listen, 2 weeks in a row that means nothing because let's talk Ant-Man because if you want to get into it and how great this movie
I
did,
don't want to get into it, but here we are. Here we are,
listen,
battling it.
but no battle,
Review
but let's
against
be
review.
facts. The movie tanked. The lowest
The
rated
movie didn't
Rotten
tank.
Tomatoes aside from the Eternals. It was the
Uh,
lowest.
the
The
audience
lowest.
review was actually closer to my prediction, not the critic review. But audience review is like 84, 85,
That's nice.
and I believe it said at
Which is
82.
not. I never
So
trust that rating because it got the lowest cinema score of any other Marvel film. The cinema scores
I
what directly ties into the money. which is a reason why it had the biggest drop of any Marvel film in history. That's called tanking. It's
I
bad. It's
I
really
got to
bad.
tell you, I liked it because
No, I'm
one
not
of the
saying I'm
biggest
not saying anything
criticisms.
about liking. No, I'm just saying
Oh,
I could have thought it was the greatest movie ever made. If it drops that much, it tanked. There's a lot of great movies I like which make no money. That's fine. They're mutually exclusive, right? Point is, that movie tanked. It tanked. It's a huge drop because the cinema score is the lowest. Cinema score
yeah,
directly ties
it's fair.
into the second week box office. Right? If people like it, are
Sure.
they going to talk about it? No. It got a B. The B sounds good, but cinema score B's like getting a D. It really is.
Right.
You want A minus, and all that. So people didn't
Absolutely.
like this film. They just didn't. It's obvious, right? And that's fine. Whether you like it, not it doesn't matter what we think about. If me and you thought it was the greatest movie ever, that's fine. People didn't like it. It's clear. It tanked. There's a reason why it tanked, and people didn't like this film. A lot of people didn't like this movie. Why nobody went to go see it the second weekend? It's fair to say that, right?
Yeah, it's
I'm
fair.
not saying
It's
it's
fair.
bad. I'm just saying people didn't see it. So that being said, Ant-Man, myself, I know you enjoyed it. I I'm went back. I'm down to a tier four. This the more I think about it, the more I talk about this movie. It's not a good film. It's not a good film.
I disagree. To me, it is a low end tier two.
Oh my God, you're out of your mind. Tier two, Jesus Christ.
Tier two. I really enjoyed this movie. Now, is it do I feel there were certain things we're missing? Like I missed the ex-con guys. I wish Luis would have been there. Like those little things aesthetically I would have liked to. But here's one thing that I did enjoy. This episode, this movie was written by Loveless, which is a writer for Rick and Morty, and it felt like a Rick and Morty type structured episode, which I love. And so it's like a Rick and Morty episode I could share with my kids. So it was really cool to do that. I really enjoyed
And I got
that
a
sort of like.
feeling he's gonna be axed from writing the next one because he's
You
supposed to.
think so?
Dude, this movie is not good, and I get you like I understand that, right? And I understand that, but this,
I thought it was fun. I
but
thought it was a lot of action.
but
I
I'm
thought
not saying it's fun. Listen, even
it
a very bad Marvel film is still kind of entertaining, and I get it, right? And I told you I still was entertained, but you look at it,
I like this movie more than Black Adam or Thor: Love and Thunder.
I
Like
think Thor:
honestly,
Love and Thunder is probably slightly better, and that doesn't say a whole
I
lot.
disagree.
It's just this movie's got so many problems, and it's a problem with the MCU as a whole, right? Because like I said before, Ant-Man should never been the one going against Kang. It just didn't make any sense. And yeah, Kang losing the ants. That's not good. And then I get it. It could be funny and there's in the comic. No one liked that. No one liked that. I guarantee no one liked that. It's the reason why we tanked. That was stupid. Beating by ants. You have the big baddie. You're setting up your big baddie for the universe. This is your Thanos, right? And you kill him. We've seen. I know it's different. 1,000 iterations of this guy, right? And I get that. And it's all the ones.
You see the Council of Kangs
Right,
at
the
the
whole
end of one
council
of
of
the post
Kangs,
credit
and
scenes. Yeah.
that's good, right? But the problem is, if you keep showing us a Kang, keep killing him, who cares? Either one, he's weak, not as strong as you think he is, because he's beaten by, Lady Loki, and by stupid ants, right? Okay, big deal. Why should be afraid? And he's going toe to toe with Ant-Man. He couldn't fight anybody, for Christ's sake. That's why he shouldn't be fighting him. And then, so it looks bad. And they said, well, there's more Kangs. Well, who cares? I mean, there's more Kangs, but there's no stakes. Like another Kang. It's not where we're written. His characters, I love Jonathan Majors as Kang. He did really good with what he was given. He was given shit. And he made
I
an okay meal, but he was given shit. You kill him off again. Oh my God, the
I don't think he's
Cassie.
dead, by
When
the way.
Cassie is, it should just have Cassie be the main Avenger, because all she has to do is, hey, don't be bad, don't be a dick, and all of a sudden, they're not a dick anymore. Which is the most ridiculous arc of any character in the history of movies, in a movie which only had one arc, and that was MODOK. Like it or not,
MODOK did have
he's
an
the
arc.
only
Well,
one who
Ant-Man had an arc
the
too.
only character that's called bad writing. No one else had an arc in his film, just him, and it was a shitty ass. Don't be a dick. Okay, I'm here. I'm good. You're right. I'm not a dick. You've been a dick your whole life. That's who you are. Don't act like all of a sudden like,
Right,
I
but
shouldn't be that way. Okay, I'm gonna make amends. The killer machine of all machines. All of a sudden, little girl, she should be the main Avenger. Just go fight all the Kangs and yell aloud. Don't be dicks. All right, we're done. It's terrible writing, dude. I get it. I'm not saying it wasn't entertained, but it's shitty writing. It's shitty writing. It really is, dude. I don't know what to tell you. It's not good. CGI was awful. It really
yeah,
was.
it was off. It was spotty because some parts are like that's really good. So that's why I believe the
It
Marvels
was, yeah,
got
it was
pushed
too much
back.
volume. Whatever they're doing just doesn't look good. And when you have it at when you have that much of it, it looks fake. Doesn't look lived in. It looks like watching Phantom Menace, right? Which had the same issue.
I can see that,
Yeah.
and that was sort of my problems that it didn't feel like a world. It
Thank
felt
yes.
like a really good soundstage,
Right.
and
So
it
it
needed
felt
to
like
feel like a world.
yes, you're not really
And I think
buying
that
into
was
yeah.
one of it wasn't a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but there are problems with it. But I don't see. But it's not like the like honestly. I said I felt like in comparison, Thor: Love and Thunder was sort of like a look at me, look what I can do effort of like to the highest extreme. And this movie wasn't as much like look what I can do. And to me, I actually appreciated the fact that I don't think Kang died because he got sucked into his own machine, which is going to be. I think
I
it's going to be.
and
Uh,
I
uh,
thought about that. People said that, and the people said the end credit that all the Kangs. So listen, if you the Kangs can be done, they can. They came out and said he's dead.
no, they said they said the Kang in
He's
the quantum process has fallen.
yeah, he's dead. All
I
these Kangs there,
but here's the thing.
and the thing is, and that's the one you fear the most. And he gets,
But
but
here's the
again,
thing.
but he gets beaten
I
by
don't think
ants.
they
So why should we be afraid of these other guys who are afraid of this guy?
what no, I this is the thing. The reason why I once again, it's because he's in the quantum realm, which is like the one place where Kang's power is not 100%. And that's why Nana went over there to finish the job. Because they knew he was alive enough to
Well,
track him.
they thought he wasn't going to get out of there because they had a great idea of trapping him there, which I liked.
But that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but they
The
trapped him
quantum
with the
realm
tools that
messes
he
with
needs to get out. So that was really stupid.
it messes with their like their totalitarian abilities of like so they're like we like as long as he's there and he can't get out, we're safe.
Yeah,
And now
but
they
you know he's getting out because they know that because they've seen him been everywhere. It's not new to them.
but that's what I'm saying. I think that Kang is going to come out again either as the big bad of the Kang dynasty or in Secret Wars. I feel like him going over there is going to mutate, for lack of a better term, into a bigger version. And
Perhaps.
I got to tell you, I really, when let's talk a little about the end of the movie. Spoilers, guys, in case you
Oh,
haven't
it's been a
noticed
couple
the
weeks
stuff we're
already.
talking
Yeah,
about right
yeah.
now.
Come on.
But the when it looked like Scott and Hope were gonna get stuck in the quantum realm, I was like, oh, that's a really cool way to
That
end the
would have been
movie.
cool. I would have liked that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when the door magically reopens up because they were like reverse engineer the mapping system, I
Sure.
was like, okay,
Whatever.
I'll give you. But here's the part that I really liked. I liked the ending when Scott starts having this like weird panic attack about like what did I do exactly? Did I just mess things
That
up? Like
was
I
cool.
did
I
I,
like that. That was cool. That felt
and
like Ant-Man to me.
there
Right.
was little changes to the world now. Like they remember his name and they're upcharging him. He like his life isn't perfect, even though aesthetically it looks right. But like things are going a little wrong, like bad cake, and can't remember his daughter's birthday, but he plays it off like, oh yeah, I missed so many. Let's just do it. Like there's to me that feels like that's already the Kangs or the Kang from the quantum realm starting to mess with him, and it's the
Perhaps.
very first, and I like that.
That was cool.
But
I'll give you that.
what's the thing? I think what they were doing was too subtle. They needed to be almost like think of it like when you watch the first Avengers. At the end of first Avengers, it's literally Thanos looking at the camera and smiling like, "Hey,"
Right.
it is the most. I was like,
We're
I'm
here.
gonna be the bad guy. Like that's all. And I think it was too subtle, and people wanted more of a like, give me an implication that things are clearly a little weird, and whether it's the Council of Kangs or the Kang that we killed, I want to know that there is something being manipulated.
And I think
And
that's a
because it's
problem.
so subtle, I think that's what left people
And the
feeling there
thing is,
was no
I don't think people know what any of this is, right? The casual fan, we know, I
right.
get it, right? But the casual fan, which really drives the theater, the box office, or whatever, they don't. I don't think this movie did a good job of setting anything up, right? Like this movie was so inconsequential at the end of the day, right? I just the baddie's dead, or the perceived that, or whatever. The casual fans don't think he's
Right.
dead. We don't know what the hell this the quantum realm is at the end of the day, or this whole timeline thing, or like
Like
what the
I'll
fuck is
tell you
going on,
what,
right? We don't know anything.
this movie and the Doctor Strange movie needed to have watched everything always all at once first.
That's what I'm
And really,
saying. I
they needed to better understand how to make multiverse work
Right. And the
fast.
writer does it so well in Rick and Morty. We've seen him
That's
do it.
great.
And I don't
That's
know if
great.
it's him, if it's more, I don't know, but it's so unclear. We have an idea because we know if someone who goes in clean, right, doesn't know anything about Kang or whatever, they didn't see Loki, not people saw Loki, it's not like one of the shows aren't watched as much as the films are. You don't know who the hell this guy is and what the hell's going on. What's this quantum realm and what are they talking about? It's just so, this is my question. I posed it to you because, and I was talking to a friend. I was actually talking to Peter too, and we asked when these movies coming out, right? We got Guardians. I think Guardians is going to be almost his own thing for the most part because
I think
it's
so.
the
I
last one.
think
So this
so.
is not
Yeah.
going to going deep into
It's
that.
gonna connect more to Endgame than anything else.
Agreed, absolutely. The Marvels probably, I guess, I don't know, but I just
A little bit,
maybe.
maybe.
But then after that, we get next year is going to be what is it? I had the list here. We got Captain America, no way. Thunderbolts, not even close. Blade, no. Deadpool, no.
Well, Bloodpool, yes.
I really don't think they have anything
It's
to do
the
with that.
time sliding. I think it's gonna connect to the TVA. I think you're gonna be very surprised how well it's gonna connect.
I don't think that was going to connect anything at all. The only thing we have, and then the only thing, and then from after, and that's after next year, right? So not maybe
Right.
one, maybe, and then all of a sudden we get the only way I could obviously see is Fantastic Four,
Right.
which is odd because you want to set up Fantastic Four, you want to set up Fantastic Four and give it all the weight in the shoulders to set up Kang, which is the next film. So basically, with the Kang Dynasty, what do we get in between them to really set this up? There's nothing.
Well, because mind you, they also haven't announced all the movies
Uh,
after Fantastic Four, and there's a
Agree, but
wide
it's
berth.
only 4 months between Fantastic Four and Avengers, according to the schedule. So
Which, by the way,
they can squeeze
let
one
me
movie
just
in there.
I think they're going to either push back because I think
They're
four
gonna have to push this
movies
back.
in a year is going to be too much. They got to push back. I think that what they're going to do is either push back Thunderbolts or Captain America to keep Blade and
Deadpool and
Deadpool there, and it'd be one of those two gets pushed
well,
back.
they can release three,
That's
so
what
they
I.
can do Captain America, Thunderbolt, and Deadpool push Blade out. So I think Blade's the one that's gonna get pushed out of those three. But then again,
Then okay,
I mean,
well,
that's what I'm guessing. But the
that's
year after
fine
that
because
is
you need if you're going to do 3 movies a year, one of them has to directly impact the
that's what I'm saying.
multiverse, and
I don't
Deadpool's
think
going to
it
be the
is, man.
one
I
that
think this
does
is gonna
that.
be its own thing. That's like Guardians. It's
I
rated
disagree. I
R.
think
I
that's
think they're
going to be
trying
the
to do
one
something different. Again, kudos to them for finding something different. But okay, but let's assume
only
you're right. Let's
because
assume you're
of
right. So in 2 years we're gonna get one film to set this up. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like what are they doing?
well, I'm also thinking, what are the two TV series they're going to do
Secret Invasion had
for
nothing to
next
do with
year?
this at all.
No,
No,
that's
that's
next
this year.
year.
That's
Like
this year.
because no, I'm talking about what do you think? What TV series
TV
for
series we
next
got
year are going to come
Daredevil.
out?
Nope. They had
No,
the what's this girl from Black Panther? Ironheart. No.
Ironheart.
Echo, which got delayed
No,
or
I couldn't see
canceled.
that.
No. And that's just 3 shows. They're not doing more than 3 shows in a year. So Agatha's
Right.
been already axed. So that's what I'm saying. There's nothing else. Like, okay, what's the plan here? Because I don't understand what this is the movie set everything up. And we said they have to come out gangbusters. We both agreed that this movie should have been a tier one or very high tier two,
She
and it
really
didn't.
should have.
Right? It
Really
just
should
didn't.
have.
Right? And like I said, I didn't hate the film, but it's not what we wanted. We're like guns blazing. Let's set up what's coming, and it failed and to do that well. And I don't see what's coming out that says okay, let's. I don't
Do
know. I
you
don't get it.
think that based on the reaction of what's going on, do you think that Kevin Feige is going to pull a pivot, sort of like what he did with Captain
I
America:
think he
Civil War?
needs to. I think they need to move Kang Dynasty out another year and give us a Shang-Chi 2, right? Give us a Doctor Strange 2. I assume Doctor Strange is going to tie into it, I guess.
Yeah, I
It
think
needs
so.
to,
It's
right?
got
Why wouldn't it? But we need to get those films first because, like I said, two things. One, we need more time to set the table here, right? It's too soon for Kang Dynasty, what we have. And then we want more time with, we said before, we want more time with these characters, right? We want to really get
Or
invested.
isn't the Loki series coming out
Which
this
one?
year too? Loki,
Loki, yeah. We know Loki is obviously, but loosely, yeah. But
right,
other than that, that's nothing else.
right.
But that's not enough, right? It's not enough. And it's a TV show not everyone's going to be watching. So it's like, you want a big
Right.
event film to set up the big event films. They
Sure.
need to move all this stuff out. They really do. Because I just, if this sticks, maybe they squeeze in Doctor Strange 3 before Avengers, the King. Not enough, man. It's just not enough. They can set up Secret Wars more because that's not till 2026, so they got time to squeeze it in. But that's a different story,
Sure.
right? Than the Kang one. Well, some related, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing. Honestly, what Marvel is doing.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is this: if Marvel's taught me anything, is that they're gonna take their worst performing movie and make that pivotal to the way they end the saga. Because that's what they did with Thor: The Dark World. That movie, no one gave a crap about it, and then Endgame came out like, oh my god, this is like one of the most important movies ever. I gotta watch it. So it's kind of thing where I guarantee you that when you see Kang get sucked into his own time engine, that's when you're gonna be like, and that's why you're like, oh crap, I gotta watch. That's what I'm telling you. Don't sleep on Marvel. Marvel's gonna wait and go. Whatever sucks the most is now the greatest movie ever.
Yeah,
You just don't know.
I don't think I can think of somebody I heard it from somebody. Was all these shows and films that we've been watching in the last whatever phase 4 or whatever, all in different universes. I'm not sure if I'm buying that,
I don't
but
buy
I've
that.
heard
I
that.
don't buy that.
That doesn't sound right to me. I mean, I don't know. They brought up the whole Eternals thing with the big that
Tiamat.
was in the water, whatever. That it was briefly
Yeah,
mentioned in She-Hulk, but nowhere else,
and
and
She-Hulk, but that's
no one
it.
knows
Yeah,
about it. So is that different universe? I guess it makes sense, but I don't want to see it either because then it's like, well, what the
right.
hell? It's more confusing. Then what the fuck are you watching? It's just it doesn't
Yeah,
work. I don't know what the plan. I'm concerned based off this film. I think Guardians is gonna be great. I really do. But
yeah.
like you said, I think Guardians is gonna be its own thing.
And I think it will lightly connect to Marvels because how can you not? They're both space
Maybe
movies at this
I
point. So
guess we'll see, but I mean I don't see it like make a major right cog in the wheel, if you will, in terms of the Kang Dynasty.
right, yeah, it's not gonna be pivotal to
Right.
understand it, but I think it'll give you a little
Maybe
shine, a
perhaps maybe
little
the end
shine,
credits
a
scene.
little
But I
shine.
mean, I think the movie's gonna be good. At least if that movie sucks, I'm gonna be really upset. I swear to God, because Marvel needs a win here, right? It needs like a big. We haven't had a big Marvel win in a while.
And here's the thing: we had last year. Let's be honest. Last year, the to me the best Marvel stuff that we got was uh, 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 the
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by
Yeah,
Night
agreed.
special, the Guardians Christmas
Agreed.
special, uh, and then below that I put
That
Moon
was cool.
Knight
That one, eh?
and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I think those were the best of the best. Like tier two is Moon Knight and Doctor Strange. Tier one was Werewolf by Night and
Well, if
Christmas
you do
Guardians. I
tiers
mean,
within just those releases, sure. Right. Fine.
yes,
Fair.
yeah, within
Fair
those
enough.
for us for
Okay.
last year, for
That's
last
fair.
year's Marvel
That's fair.
output.
Sure.
Those were the four best ones they did. You can argue a Miss Marvel, you can argue that kind of
I
stuff.
wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't oppose
Shang-Chi
it.
came out in 2021, so it doesn't count.
Yes.
So like, you know what I mean? Like that 2021 Shang-Chi
Right.
was a
Yeah,
definite
like
like
your
haymaker.
independent specials should not be the best things for Marvel.
That's what
It
I'm
can be
saying
good,
though.
and I want to be good, but
But but here's why I think those are the shiny example that I think Marvel's going to be doing moving forward, which is instead of trying to make it 6 episodes, they made it 45,
thank
50
you.
minutes, told the
And get out.
story.
Get
That's
out.
it. So now let them look. You see them rearranging their schedules. I think Feige needs to do a hey, let's do Black Panther Civil War, but maybe we might have Spider-Man. Just get ready. Spider-Man's in. Change everything. And you just make that work. I think that's you're gonna Feige's gonna have to once again realize that the world needs him, and he's gonna have to put his superhero cape back on, get back into executive producer mode, and show up in the
Yeah,
sets,
be
be
more involved.
involved in everything.
Yes, yeah, he has to. He has to.
That's the only
That's
way you're gonna turn this
which
around
goes back to less
because
project. We don't need 4 or 5. We don't need 5 movies a year, right? Or 4.
he's only one
Right.
man. He's only one
Go
human
back to
being.
2 to 3 films a year at best. 1 or 2 shows at best. Even that could be a much, but that's it. We don't need.
I think 3 movies a year, 2 shows.
That's it,
That's it.
and that's at the high end. If you do
That's
little,
it.
I'm fine with a 2 and 2 or 3 and 1, whatever.
I mean, two and
It's
two
fine.
is fine, but if
It
you
needs to
do
be
two
good.
and two, one of them has to be
Right, like
amazing. It can't be good anymore.
I'd rather
I'll
get
take
quality over
3 good
quantity, right?
movies
There's.
or 2 good movies, or 2 movies, one good, one bananas. Like that's like every year you have to have a Guardians one, a Winter
Yeah,
Soldier, a Civil War. Like it's got to be that level, or don't come
that's
to play. If you're not giving me a Black Panther every year in terms of quality, then don't come to
yeah. They
play.
need to
That's
retool, and I hope they. And I got a feeling they're gonna have to retool something. Like as I'm reading this list, I don't think that's gonna work right now. It's not gonna work.
Oh, by the way, I thought Black Panther was fantastic for last year too. So I think that's in that second tier, maybe first tier for last year. For last year, honestly, I think that was Listen,
I thought it was better on
put it
Doctor
this way.
Strange. I'll give you that.
I'll put it to you like this: the entire WandaVision series, it was good, but it became amazing when Vision said, "What is grief but love persevering?" That one phrase changed
That
everything.
was a good
To
line.
me, discovering that ese niño no tienes amor, and that's because the name is amor, I was like, that's it. That top tier right
A
there. He
good,
just
good
made it
line.
beautiful.
No, yeah, no argument
It's
there.
an amazing line. Recontextualizes the
But
whole thing.
we need some
Just
good
saying.
stuff. This is getting. They're not, we're not quite there yet, but they're heading towards DC level, old DC level. They really are. Um,
I hope
I
not.
hope not. That's what I'm saying. I hope something changes here. Maybe, like I said, maybe Loki's amazing and Secret Invasion, and then we're eating crow. Okay, great, fine. I hope that happens. I want that to happen. Believe me. Right now, I don't have that confidence. I don't, because I don't know. Right, and I'm not counting on the Marvels. I'm not. I wasn't a big fan of Miss Marvel to begin with. I like Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. No, Miss Marvel I liked. Um,
Right. You like Miss Marvel, you
right,
like
right.
Captain
So
Marvel,
let's
yes.
see, but they gotta do better. They have to do better on this. They do. It's
I
just
agree.
whatever it's going on, fix it, and just getting tired of it.
Look, and at the end of the day, like I said, I liked Ant-Man. Was it perfect? No. Was it great? No. It was
It
fun.
wasn't. We can agree
But
it wasn't what it should have been. Yeah,
it wasn't should have been because of what it sees what because of phase four
yeah,
and what we're working towards with Kang being introduced, you needed a
yeah.
little bit more
Right.
whoa. And it was like
Yeah.
cool. And it shouldn't have been cool. It should have
It
been
should have
like
been. Oh my god,
whoa.
awesome! I can't
So
wait. Oh my god, this one. So
I gotta tell you, there's a channel called Comic Pop on YouTube. Really really great guys. They did this called Absolute Marvel DC, and one of the co-hosts on that show said something. I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. This movie, like Luis, is one of the most unsung characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The movie should have started and ended
oh my
with
god, agreed.
Luis narrating
Yes,
what happened.
yes.
And I was like, when I heard that, I was like, I wish I could take credit for the idea. It's not mine. It's from the comic book guys. I forgot the kid's name. As a skinny Indian dude, I believe. Really funny, a really funny guy. And it was such a clever take because the whole thing with Scott, think about it at the end. Scott's walking down again, and Luis is telling somebody what Scott told him. And while
Yeah,
describing it, Luis goes, but wait a minute. If you were supposed to escape, and you did you really save it? And then you see Paul Rudd going, oh my God, it's almost like
yeah,
he's hearing Luis's question in his head. So you have the whole dynamic still play out. But it's Luis
yeah.
questioning, coming to realize why he's recounting
That
the
would have been really
story.
cool.
Wait a minute,
Yeah,
this one doesn't make
yeah.
any
Even at the
sense.
beginning,
And
like
like
to recap
that,
what's happened since the last Ant-Man, be kind of funny, and
that's what I'm
he's missing
saying. You
5 years,
needed
and
a
this what happened.
Luis
Maybe
thing.
what he missed in the 5 years he was out. That would have been cool to see. That would have been awesome. Yeah.
Like that same look, even the beginning where you hear him like Ant-Man reading from his book and he ends up with reading to the kids, how great would it have been, because we know that Ant-Man's been doing podcasts, right? We saw on Miss Marvel he's doing podcasts. How great was it? It would have been in the beginning was Luis talking, and then it cuts over and it's like him being reviewed. He and Scott Lang are guests on a podcast, and like, well, thanks for showing up, Luis. It's Scott. Thank you for the book. And Scott's just like, dude, you let me talk. Like that would have been such a
Yeah.
fun little bit. And I think that once again, I think because of the story they want to tell, they're kind of forgetting why their own movies are so much fun to begin with. The flavor of each
Right.
movie was so
No,
much fun to
exactly.
begin with. I actually rewatched the first Ant-Man last weekend, and I was like, man, this movie is way
It's a
more
fun film.
fun than I
It's a fun film.
remember
Yeah,
it.
that's what they were. They're good palate cleansers, right? And Michael Pena was
Yeah.
good. I like you're right. I don't know why he couldn't be included, even for a small scene. I don't
Uh-huh.
because he was
I
great in
agree.
this. I don't know. He's a big part of the Ant Man films, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, so
Yeah.
that was an odd choice,
Like,
but
but
whatever.
here. I'll put it this way: they go into the quantum verse, right? Imagine this dynamic. It's Hope, Scott, and
Hope
his
is in a movie.
daughter, right?
Hey, but let's be real.
uh,
Was she in the
so
movie really?
yeah, no, she was. Let's just say if you're not going to become the new Black Panther and you're against vaccines, you're really not going to be in a movie. So
Apparently,
you're going to be
I don't know
high
why they call it
smiling.
Ant-Man the
Shut up.
Wasp. We just call it Ant-Man Quantumania.
Don't
Boom.
say anything stupid. We believe in science.
She was
You're
really,
more.
she was kind of
Anyway,
put to the side in
so
this film, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
imagine if it was Ant-Man the Wasp and Ant-Man's daughter Casey, and they were on an adventure, and the sub team was Kurt Douglas or Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, and the
Oh man,
ex-cons.
that would have been great. That would have been great.
Like, it's like we have to keep these morons alive and
That would
escape
have
the
been kind of
quantum
fun.
realm.
Yeah, and by the way, Michelle Pfeiffer was really good in this film. I'll give you that much. She
Oh,
was great.
Michelle
She was
Pfeiffer
great. Yeah.
was, and Kurt
Because that
Douglas.
was cool.
Like,
Yeah.
don't sleep on
Yeah.
Michael Douglas. Don't sleep on Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas was one of the
Yeah.
unsung
He was,
heroes
I
in this
like.
movie.
So they had good parts, but overall, it was whatever.
Literally, if it wasn't for Michael Douglas, they would have lost.
Well,
He
fair enough.
saved the day.
I still a Cassie could have told Kang, "Don't be a dick." Okay. But let's.
No, Kang was.
Don't
Here's
be
the
a
thing.
dick, Kang. Right.
Let me just say about the don't be a dick thing. I think it's because MODOK was mentally damaged from
He was damaged
shrinking
before.
and all the experiments.
He was a
that
dick before. Um,
Oh, he was.
Man, come on.
But I think the reason we're so easily persuaded is because he's mentally damaged. His brain is
I
not used to
think
being
if he was
that
doing
big,
if
but
he was
still
doing
functioning
one
at a very
have an arc,
rudimentary
I'd
level.
been okay with it. Just give us a better art. That could have been that much better than what they just did. It was it just didn't work. It was just too fast and don't be a dick. Fine. It just didn't make sense. Um,
If they would have, like, you know how like Kang like was just like demeaning MODOK, if they would have showed him like at first like being angry, but then showing like Griselda, can't anyone respect me, kind of thing.
It wasn't set up right. It wasn't earned. Essentially.
Right. But I will say his death speech
That was funny.
was great.
Funny.
I
That was
love
funny.
his death
I'll
speech.
give credit's due. That was a funny little line. The Avengers. That was cool. But anyway, let's finish off with a much better note, right? Well, oh, is it? Well, maybe it is.
Uh, we're end the show with a series that understood the assignment.
Correct, and that's of course Mandalorian season 3. We'll do Last of Us when a couple weeks when the finale always coming up, so we'll wait for that.
Right.
But Mandalorian season 3, we're waiting for this for a while. It's back.
A while.
Well, it seems like a while. It just seems
We
long
waited
because
for so long. We watched Boba Fett.
They forced us to watch that, and Obi-Wan. At least they gave us Andor at least, so fine. But man, they made us sit through a lot of crap. But it's back. So I'll say this. First of all, I'll continue with the gripe. It's too short, man. What the hell's going on with Disney, dude? It was like 30 minutes long without the credits and shit. It's too short. It's too short. Give us 2 episodes, at least 3, right?
I will say, as short as this was, they packed
They did. I mean,
a lot into this
I didn't love the
episode.
episode. I thought it was fun. It's just
Really?
I think I heard the second one's really good. But it was a lot of setup. I'm not saying it's a went to see 2 episodes, right, to have this episode pay off more.
Right.
Given it's just this a short, they packed a lot of stuff, and there was a lot of table setting, which is fine.
It was, but it was
good.
really
But
fun.
it wasn't like
action
it wasn't a great episode.
Like exciting.
Yeah, it wasn't a great episode, but it was a good solid episode. And like I said, it did a lot of lifting, setting up what we're gonna see. That's fine. But it was, like I said, yeah.
I like seeing Mando as a gunslinger.
Yeah.
Like I like seeing like literally leaning on the chair, leaning against a tree, waiting for things to go sideways. I love that. Him piloting through the asteroid belt, just Empire vibes cool. And Grace Space Battle. Enjoy.
It really was.
The leader of the pirates, one of the best Star Wars character designs I've seen in a long time.
I wouldn't go that far. You lost. You lost.
I loved it. I've not seen a character design that made me go, "Wow, that looks fun!" Like it was one of the best designs I've seen in a long time.
I didn't do it for me, but not terrible. Just whatever. I didn't look at it and think that, but fine. But I mean, obviously, it's been a couple years. It seems like since 2 years. Okay, I figured
2 years
passed because whatever. Carl Weathers that he retired his boxing gloves and now he's running the town.
I don't know if you heard, but his son is
he's there. His
son's fighting Kang.
I'll say that this Creed 3. The version that was a much better Kang than we got in that. I tell you that right now. That we got in Mandalorian. That guy should have been in that movie. But neither here nor there. But that being said, Carl Weathers is great. That was I like because obviously that whole city's been transformed with town or whatever you want to call it into whatever. What is it? The High Chancellor? No, not the High Chancellor. High Magistrate.
Oh no, the High Magistrate.
Gosh forbid, don't call him that. But that was really.
And by the way, I love the
That
fact he had
was
two little
funny.
droids
That was a nice
carrying the
little touch.
corners of his
That was a
cape.
cool touch. Yeah, I
Oh,
like that a
so much
lot.
fun.
I like how they kind of just slipped in the whole
Yeah.
car doing things like, well, she's whatever.
Uh-huh. She collected my special forces.
Basically,
She'll
yeah.
probably
It's
be
like,
dead by
okay,
now.
that was done. What happened? She was tweeting. I don't know what happened. That was. I mean, I had a lot of cool stuff. That set it up. We got the whole, I forget her name again. She was sitting on a throne by herself. Why I keep forgetting her name? The Mandal whatever that was gonna free or go against the Mandalorians. What's her face? He meets in the planet and everyone left her because she didn't have the sword. Bo-Katan, thank you.
Bo-Katan?
We're gonna get more of that, I assume. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I
Oh,
love the whole
absolutely.
Rebels
Clearly.
thing. Kind of people who've seen Rebels, with space
Yeah.
whales.
Oh, with the Priggle?
I
I
found
forget
space
the
whale.
name
Yeah,
of the
there's a
space
different name,
whales
but that
that
was like,
travel through light
yeah.
speed. Yeah.
Is it?
Purgle?
I don't remember.
I think it's
I
Purgle,
kept
maybe? Yeah.
thinking
It's
something like
something with
that. I'll call
Urgle.
them space
Purgle.
whales. Something like that.
Yeah.
But that was cool. I
Space
think
whales.
people hadn't seen Rebels don't know what the hell that is. Fair enough. They play a big part, particularly towards the end. Last episode. Yeah.
Watch the last episode of the season
Yeah.
finale of series
So
finale.
I like
It's
that
great.
too.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna tie in some stuff with Ahsoka probably. Thrawn and all that. I think he's gonna be in Ahsoka, right? I don't know. Right. So I think
Yeah, I
tying
think
all
so.
this whole universe or whatever you want to call it together. I said it was a good episode. I didn't love it. I just it's good. I like the beginning was cool. Yeah.
I honestly thought I put it like an 8.5 to a 9. I was really happy with I was more impressed that they did all that in a shorter amount of time. That's how impressed I was. Like, this is if you're talking about pacing a story and the pragmatism of telling, they did a
And it was a
lot
little
with a
bit different
little.
kind of
I
episode
love
because
that.
usually
That's
we get
fantastic.
the whole like he's got a mission, he goes there, completes it, and it ends. Right. This one, nothing.
Right.
Something kind of got started, but
Right.
usually it ends in that episode. So that was interesting. I don't know if that's the way it's going to be from now
Yeah.
on, but I kind of like the old serialized style. Just here's a mission. It's like the video game style,
Yeah.
right? I gotta go here, do this.
But I like the
Which
fact
is
that they're
good.
changing
And
things
I
up.
hope that continues. Right? I don't
Don't
want
be a
this to
slave
go
to
back
format.
to where we were before. I hope not. Right? Yeah, that's just it's
Right,
pick a
exactly.
lane, right? I like this setup. It was good. We know he's gonna go into the water eventually, and he's gonna unite the Mandalorians together or whatever, both factions and all that.
All
I'm
the
sure that's
Mandalorians,
coming
yeah.
down the road.
Moff Gideon's
Oh,
gonna
of
break out, and
course.
there's gonna be a big
He's
space battle. Like, it's
we
gonna
haven't
be a
seen
bunch of
that's
stuff.
come on, it's Gus
Super
for Christ's
excited.
sake. He ain't going nowhere. So we'll
Yeah.
see him again.
Mm-hmm.
It was good setup. Not a good episode, but I heard the second one's really good. A lot of critics got to see two of them,
All right.
which I just know why Disney didn't do two. I don't understand that. This needed 2 episodes,
Jerks.
right, to really get us going.
Yeah, they should have.
But I get it. It's a season 3. If you're not watching right now, you ain't watching it, so they don't have to grip you. Oh, come watch this
Yeah.
show. You know what's up. But it's a solid show, man. I think it's gonna be really good. There's a lot of setup. If it pays off, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, thank God.
Watched it twice. Have not enjoyed it more the second time.
Maybe watch this
it's really a fun
because
episode.
it's only 30 minutes. So it's an easy watch to watch that. I hope the next one's.
Yeah.
I want it to be a little bit longer. I don't want every episode to be 30 minutes long, for Christ's sake.
Well, like the last season, the first episode was like 42 minutes. So
Right.
like, give us something closer to 40.
Yeah,
I think that's
42,
a sweet
45.
spot for
That's
the
just-
series.
When it's been at its best, it's been around that time
Yep.
frame. I hope we get that.
Yeah.
What's the name of that robot they try to rebuild again? I forget the name of the robot. IG-11.
Oh,
So
IG-11.
I assume he's gonna come back. I guess.
I like the little Terminator homage that they did to it when he started calling that with the one.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. I like that. I mean, there's a lot of little references to things you've seen in other stuff, and a lot of in-house references to other Star Wars. I mean, like I said, for the economy of story that they did,
No, give us a lot.
this is a great
So
episode.
all the characters we've known grown to love.
Yeah.
A couple new ones. So yeah, I'm excited. And at the whatever like at the end of the pirate, right? Whatever pirate thing, whatever. Is that the one you're talking about? You're talking about the one that we saw in the gunfight. Maybe I was confused.
No, the one that was the leader of the pirates.
That one I gave you more. I kept thinking that when they
space.
first introduced to whatever the.
No,
Okay.
that's his henchman.
I'm
I'm
my
talking
bad.
about the
You're right.
leader
It
of
just
the
popped in my head
pirates,
right now as I'm talking. I was like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. No, yeah.
Yeah, I really love the design of it. I was like, that was a really fun design. Like as soon as I saw that, I go, when is that dude's action figure coming out? I want that. Like,
Yeah, no, that
was
cool.
literally
So
what I
like
thought.
that. So that's a good episode, man. Like I said, this is the only consistent thing Star Wars has. The only thing.
And I'm glad it's consistent. That's the best part. It's consistent, and I'm glad it's consistent.
And this guy Favreau said he already wrote season 4 already. So yeah, as if they weren't gonna do a season 4. Come on. But
exactly.
yeah, dude.
Favreau needs the
The man's got
the
eight,
fifth pull
dude.
in the seventh
Whatever,
house.
that's
Yeah,
fine, dude.
absolutely.
Yeah, to me, Infinoli,
Do
nothing
it.
wrong with that. I'm
I'm
not
excited.
opposed to that. Just give us good shit, consistent. It doesn't have to be great, you know.
Until they reboot Iron Man,
Mandalorian,
stick
that's
with
fine.
Mandalorian.
You got it. Keep that up. Maybe you had the whole thing. Captain Kennedy goes and all that. Please, even better. But yeah, so
Even
looking forward
better.
to talking about this
Even
next
better.
week and all that. I really wish to do more than one episode though. Whatever. It is what it is. But all that being said, them's all the nuggets for today.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We love all the love you've been sharing us. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe here in the Latin Nerd Network. You can check out Nerdsplaining. You can check out The Watch List. You can check out The Honest's Choice and more shows coming up to you. This is going to be the year. A lot of special guests coming up as well. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Nerdsplaining Pod. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Nerdsplaining _. Don't forget, if you want to listen to the original audio episodes, go to ericdasilva.com. All the visual audio episodes there, as long as my album, Adorably Offensive, a great comedy album, I must say so myself, because it's me and I'm trying to sell this. So, guys, thank you so much. As always, I'm Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero, who just got married. We have been Nerdsplaining, and if you don't know,
Peace.
now you know.